Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to CreAtIve Comm 22. Yeah, that's the answer. That's what we need. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I am Neil Maiden. I am Professor of Digital Creativity here at the Bayes Business School, and I'm also Director of CebAI, which I will introduce to you in a minute. So a little bit more, first of all, about where we are. CebAI is based, but not entirely linked to the Bayes Business School. We are one of the leading business schools in the UK, both in teaching and in research. For those of you who understand this, we have the gold standard Triple Crown accreditation for our teaching here. And in last year's REF exercise, it's an acronym which basically means Government League Tables for how good you are at your research. Bayes was ranked 5th in the UK with over 90% of its research rated as world leading or internationally excellent, which we consider to be a good thing and in line with our targets. So within Bayes, we are always curious, always bold, and as a consequence, always learning. And it's something that we take into our CebAI Centre. So I'm using this term CebAI already several times. What is CebAI? It's a nationally recognized centre. The CebAI is an acronym. It stands for Creativity Enabled by AI, and we are very grateful to UKRI's Research England body for having funded this with industrial support as well. It's a multi-million-pound project, and we launched in October 2020, and we have initial funding for 4 years. So we run to almost the end of 2024. One of the key qualities or roles, I suppose, of CebAI is its knowledge exchange and impact role. Yes, we're engaged in research. Yes, we take some of that research into our teaching, but our real remit is how to take research related to creativity, digital technologies, and AI, and make them deliver and have impact in business. So with that in mind, we have been developing concepts, prototypes, ideas that are working in different sectors. With my colleague Charles Barden-Fuller here at the front, we're working on digital creativity tools to enhance your thinking about business strategies and models. We have a spin-out called CreAtIve, which you may have seen outside, which is supporting more effective creative thinking to discover angles and new voices in journalism and other forms of content creation. We have other prototypes around service and product design. And today, I'm going to be talking about creative thinking in and around sports and sports coaching. I'm going to introduce a product which we've just launched called Sport Sparks. I'll give you a short demonstration, and then we'll have a broader discussion with our guest here this afternoon around the role of sports, creativity, and how the two are intertwined in ways that maybe you didn't realize. And ultimately, what's our vision? Well, it's around developing different digital technologies which offer creativity on demand, in your pocket. It's on an app. It's something that you can use quickly to be inspired, to get ideas. You don't need to be workshopped. You don't need to be facilitated. And different kinds of AI technologies enable you to do that. And they're the kinds of technologies that we've been researching for over a decade here at Bayes and City University. So the structure of the afternoon, we've already had a workshop, and I suspect many of you were at it to give you a kind of analog version of this sort of structured creative thinking process. I'm then slightly behind schedule, but I'm going to give a brief overview of our new product called Sport Sparks, which you'll be able to at least experiment with, even if you're not a sports person. And then we'll break and have a wider discussion, conversation, which we call whistleblowing, which is creative thinking in sports coaching with Nigel Redman from the RFU, who I will introduce in a little bit more detail in a while. Then there will be a very short break. It's not an excuse to run away, in which you can discuss creative things with other people who are engaged in creative topics around you. Before we have a panel led by Sam Steele over there, the Managing Director of CebAI, around how we turn academic theory, such as the forms we have here, into commercial can-do. And then from just after 6, there will be opportunities for drinks and nibbles and further networking. So first of all, we've made a video. So I'm going to show you the video. We put the effort into making the video. So first of all, you get to watch a video for about 1.5 minutes of SportsBox, and then I will show what's behind the video in terms of a video demo.
Does your coaching need fresh ideas?
Is something holding you back from becoming the best coach you can be?
Introducing SportsBox, the coach in your pocket.
An app designed to inspire brilliant coaching.
Based on years of academic research and powerful AI technology, it can help improve your coaching.
Through new ideas, problem solving, and offering an alternative point of view.
Perhaps something just isn't clicking and you need to come up with a different plan quickly. Enter a few bits of info and we'll generate a range of sparks to help with the team talk.
Sometimes it's not always obvious what the issue is, especially when you've covered all the basics. SportsBox can inspire different ways of thinking about other issues that affect performance, like mental well-being, family and career planning.
Maybe you're developing a long-term action plan for success and just need to add the finishing touches. How about a spark that helps bring that end goal one step closer?
SportsBox not only helps you to improve your coaching, but also connects you to a world of other practitioners, credible resources and input from experts.
Whether you coach at grassroots or in the biggest stadiums on earth, solo or as part of a team,
it's time to take your coaching to the next level with SportsBox. Inspire brilliant coaching. Sign up for free today. sportsbox.io.
So this is SportsBox. We've now released it as a product. You can engage with it via the website and you can download it. We're not charging for it, at least for now. So take the opportunity to explore. Obviously, SportsBox is more than just the cartoon rendition of it online here. So what I'm going to do is just run through some videoed demonstrations. I'm not going to try and do a live demonstration. With a creativity tool, that's always a bit of a risk because you don't quite know what's coming next. So at least I've made it on video. First thing you'll notice is that it's tailored to work on mobiles because most coaches are out there working in the field and need mobile devices or use mobile devices. I've set up a very simple challenge here, which is based on one of the ones you saw in the video related to a para-athlete. And basically, to get started, all you need to do is define who and what. Who is impacted by a particular coaching challenge that you've encountered and what it is. So I've talked about a training challenge where the athlete is not training effectively and there might be some motivational issues. Once I put all these in, what I need to do is press the Update Challenge button. And I can go and play and edit with these things. And we're taken onto this screen. So this is now giving us space in which we can explore the problem, the challenge, and possible solutions to it based on machine-generated outputs. So there are different activities. We can explore sparks. That's where the word or the name SportsBox comes from. We can explore creatively identified learning resources. We can manage our ideas and eventually produce an action plan. So you've got these 4 kinds of activities, and in the first part of this demo, I'm going to show you the sparks, which again divide up into different kinds of sparks. Explore sparks, imagining sparks, and solving sparks. And these are there with user control to ensure that the coach always has control over the AI. The AI is not directing the coach is always directing the AI. So if I just let this run a little bit, you can see here there are these different sparks presented as questions. We came up with this form through co-design with coaches, and these are automatically generated by the machine. The machine has taken some of the inputs that the coach has provided and is undertaking different kinds of manipulation of knowledge, rules, and data in order to generate these sparks. If you don't like the ones that were there, you can choose other ones. We've got some imagined sparks that are coming up here. And you can see sometimes it doesn't quite get the English right. We're still working on some aspects of the algorithms. So you've got these sparks which are being generated. The richest form of spark is the solve spark. We put a lot of work into these, and some of these sparks embody codified coaching knowledge. So we've worked quite closely with highly experienced coaches in order to understand what their best practices are, so that it becomes partly codified in the tool. So if I let this part run, we've again got our sets of 5 that have been generated. If I don't think there's any inspiration in these, I can click the refresh again. And this time, let's imagine we're interested in the second one on the list here about giving the coach more time. I, as a user, can then click on the plus button and generate an idea. But it's not just a blank screen, because the machine is also smart enough to work out what the idea is likely to be about based on the spark that you've chosen. So you can see here, I provide what we call a stem for the idea. You're not faced with the blank screen problem or the blank sheet problem. You're guided as to what to write. And we'll even fix the spelling for you as you go, as you can see in this demo. And I can quite quickly save that. If we then move on to the second kind of activity that we can engage in, which is learning. So learning was co-designed with coaches who really expressed a need for this feature. And the engine is able to take creative searches of different types of curated content, such as academic papers. So it's taken some of the content that's in the challenge and started to search for what's out there. But it's not just searching for what's there, it's also extracting the content that's in those papers to generate themes, such as, in this case, I think it's the para-athlete experience, which is something you might not know so much about if you don't coach. So we're then sort of prompted to think in different ways about this para-athlete experience. You might want to know more about what that is, so we can sort of drive down and find online resources. And of course, we can also go back to the original source. So if we leave this Spark modal and go back up, we can click on the title and actually see the original source. So we're able to manipulate all of this relevant online content online. We also capture case studies. You can see some here, which are more curated by us. And likewise, you can also see somewhere here, there's also best practices. So there's also YouTube videos and other kinds of non-text content that you can view, which is related to the challenge. So it's not just about the academic side, it's also about the practical side. So over time, you're then able to develop a set of ideas. I'm not going to show you typing in 4 more ideas. So I've now created a number of ideas using the sparks here. And before I want to make my plan at the bottom, I can then sort of start to work with my ideas, maybe refine them, edit them. I might also want to share them with colleagues. So I can maybe click on one of them here and then just go down to the bottom and perhaps suggest we can download. We can download by copying into the clipboard. You can send them via email to colleagues or drop them into social media channels. I may also get more ideas as I'm working, so I come up with more ideas. Just put them in very quickly. You can see how quickly this can happen. I can also click on ideas in order to go in and edit and refine them. There's creative refinement advice here. You can delete, you can do more sharing. And there's also guidance to combine ideas together as you synthesize ideas towards a single action plan. So it's suggesting combining 2 ideas that have certain semantic similarities. And then finally, I might want to decide to build the action plan out of the ideas. And at this point, I might want to do this in the office. Because it's a responsive web app, it also works as a desktop application. So here I am, I've moved into the same product used on the desktop. I've got various edit features within my user account. I can set up various settings such as email notifications, or I can just flick it into light mode just to show the variations we have here, because I feel I need light mode for a positive resolution of my plan. And this part is really quite simple. You choose one or more ideas that are in your ideas basket, as we've sometimes called it. So I can choose 2 of my favorite ideas that I've noted before. And then I can use those ideas at the moment manually to actually write my action plan. We have actually played with an algorithm that will take these ideas, guess the order, and then generate a first cut plan that you could then actually edit rather than have to type yourself. And then there's a few extra features. And one of the things we learn through coaching is trying to set, with coaches, is having an end date for all of this, is to have an end date for the plan. So very quickly, in 5 or 10 minutes, a coach working on his or herself is able to generate a plan. Well, I say working on their own because they've got now the coach in the pocket. They've got Sports Sparks there as a conversational piece in order to generate ideas. And it's very much part of the overall architecture of what CebAI is doing, generating these creative tools to help you in all kinds of professional business tasks. Since we're involved in trying to influence practice, we've undertaken a number of evaluations with coaches already. We now have 2 publications out, 1 conference and 1 journal paper that's just been published. And the coaches using Sports Sparks have made a number of comments. They've identified they can come up with alternative perspectives on challenges using the Sparks. Similarly, the Solution Sparks or the Solve Sparks help them come up with new views and possible actions. The tabs and the structure give them, the features of the tool give them more structure with which to undertake the creative process. It's not just one creative blob of activity. There is structure enabled through the functions. They're able to undertake more contextualized learning based on the creatively discovered resources. And ultimately, coaches using the tool said it has influenced their decision making. And this is in small numbers so far. We're talking about tens rather than hundreds, but we are getting evidence that this can work within different coaching settings. So what I presented to you rather quickly, and I apologize for the speed, is a product that we're launching which is encouraging and facilitating structured creative thinking and problem solving in one domain. That domain is sports and sports coaching.